Now coming to the inversion of single slider crank kinematic chain. Okay, so in this 4-bar mechanism only, if you replace one of the link with a slider, you will get single slider crank kinematic chain. Now because this has got 4 links, if I am fixing different links, one link at a time, I will get different inversions, and in this particular case I will get 4 different inversions. In the previous case, in case of 4-bar kinematic chain, simple 4-bar kinematic chain, we got just 3 inversions, but in this particular case we will get 4 different inversions. So the very first inversion is when the cylinder is fixed. So when the cylinder is fixed, as you can see here, the rotary motion is getting converted to reciprocating motion, or you can say the reciprocating motion is getting converted to rotary motion. Okay, so this particular mechanism has got 2 different applications. First is from rotary to reciprocating in case of reciprocating compressor, and second is from reciprocating to rotary in case of reciprocating IC engine. So these are 2 different mechanisms in which we can use this particular inversion in which the cylinder is fixed. Next is the inversion in which the crank is fixed, as you can see here. So if I am fixing the crank, now initially when I was fixing the cylinder, if I am giving the reciprocating motion to the slider, that was getting transferred to the crank. But in this particular case, I am fixing the crank only and I am freeing the cylinder. The blue colored cylinder is now freed. Now what will happen if I am fixing the crank and I am giving reciprocating motion to the slider, that motion will ultimately transfer to the blue colored link or the cylinder. Okay, so that cylinder will also rotate. Okay, first thing. Second very important thing, here you can see the connecting rod is rotating about one point, okay, at one end of the crank. The cylinder, the blue colored cylinder, is rotating about other point, the other end of the crank. That means the center of rotation of connecting rod and the cylinder is different. Okay, and they are attached together at a point. So whenever there is 2 links which are having different center of rotation, if they are attached at a point, there will be a sliding motion between them. Okay, so the slider is sliding onto the cylinder. Okay, and this particular mechanism is used in Whitworth quick return mechanism, first thing, and second, it is used in rotary IC engine. So we have got 2 different application of this particular mechanism. First is Whitworth quick return mechanism and second is rotary IC engine. In next case, in next inversion, we are now fixing the connecting rod. So as you can see here, if the connecting rod is fixed, okay, now what will happen if the crank is now, if crank is rotated, then it will give oscillating motion to the cylinder because the connecting rod is now fixed. So when the crank is now rotated, it will produce an oscillating motion to the cylinder. And this particular mechanism has also got 2 different applications. First is crank and slotted lever mechanism, which is also a quick return motion mechanism, and second is oscillating cylinder engine. Getting this? So when the connecting rod is fixed, you are getting 2 different mechanisms. First is crank and slotted lever mechanism and second is oscillating cylinder engine. Okay, last is the case, last inversion we will fix the slider. Okay, so when the slider is fixed, you will get the mechanism like this, and this particular mechanism is used in pendulum pump, or in simple language you can call it as hand pump, which we use in our daily life. So this particular mechanism is used in the hand pump when you are fixing the slider. Okay, so I will repeat it again. In the very first inversion, when the cylinder is fixed, we will get 2 different applications, we will get 2 different mechanisms. First is reciprocating IC engine, second is reciprocating cylinder. Second is the case when the crank is fixed, and we will get 2 different mechanisms. First is Whitworth quick return motion mechanism and second is rotary IC engine. Okay, when connecting rod is fixed, again we will get 2 different mechanism. First is crank and slotted lever mechanism and second is oscillating cylinder engine. And last is the case when the slider is fixed, I will get 1 mechanism, and that is pendulum pump. Okay, so in this way we are having 4 different inversions in this single slider crank chain. We are having 4 different inversions, but total number of mechanisms which we are getting is 7.